So are you worried about how to get started with filling out your PMP application? Are you not quite sure what steps you need to take so you can submit your PMP application to PMI? In today's video, I'm walking you through step by step the top 3 biggest mistakes you can make when creating your PMP application so you can avoid being audited by PMI. So let's get started. Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Alvin and we're all about helping you become certified in project management and passing your PMP exam. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash that like button so you don't miss any of my future videos. Also, make sure to stick until the end of today's video to sign up for my free PMP application step-by-step cheat sheet that demystifies the entire PMP application process and contains all of my recommended strategies and tips so you can successfully write your project experience and avoid being audited by PMI. For me, and I'm speaking from my own personal experience, completing the PMP application was very challenging and frustrating, especially when I was getting started. I wish I could have asked someone for advice who's been through the exact journey with applying for the PMP exam. I didn't even know how to get started, and I wasn't even sure if what I was writing on my application was what PMI was looking for. Does my project experience meet the minimum 3 years required experience in project management? Will I get audited if my job title isn't actually that of a project manager? How long does it actually take to find out if my PMP application is accepted by PMI? I had so many questions, and you can imagine it was such a huge and big headache for me. Does any of this resonate with you? And are you in a similar situation? If you are, let me know and leave me a comment down below. What is your biggest struggle with filling out your PMP application? I had these questions and so much more, and I'm here to help demystify the top 3 biggest mistakes so you can fill out your PMP application the easy way. The first biggest mistake is that you don't write your project descriptions in the exact format that PMI is asking you to. The PMP application is not meant to be tricky, so don't be intimidated by it. Here's exactly what you need to write when you're filling out your application: the project objective, the project outcome, your role, your responsibilities, and the project deliverables. And keep in mind, each project description must be between 200 and 500 words. Now, I personally did my best to write each project description as close to 500 words as possible, and I made sure to address every one of those items in different sentences. So before we go any further, let's take a look at an example of what not to do when you're writing your project description. I purposely made this less than 200 words, but as you read through this, can you identify what would not be a good choice to submit to PMI? Alright, so let's go through it together. My project was to develop an electronic system that accepted customer invoices. I coordinated communication with all team members, and I created the project management plan as well as other project artifacts. I managed the flow of all information across all stakeholders, and I implemented the day-to-day activities for testing the software. The project was successful, and the electronic system was successfully launched to market. In this example, did I answer everything in the checklist? No, right? First and foremost, it isn't clear what your role is in the project. You have to be explicitly clear, and you need to state exactly what your role is on the project. For your application, you want to define your role as a project lead, project manager, or something similar to show that you're leading the project and you're not acting as an individual contributor who's only working on a few tasks for the project. So, to make sure your application is more likely to pass PMI's review, I personally recommend including their verbiage in your project description and to add a little bit more detail to help explain the project and why it's important. So, for example, you could state the project objective is to develop an electronic automated system for charging customers and accepting invoices to help drive increased revenue for the organization's department. The second thing is that you did not outline what the deliverables are for your project. For each of your project descriptions, you need to list the specific deliverables that are created as a result of executing and completing your project. In this example, you could state completed deliverables include software test protocols and reports, technical documentation, and training material. The other thing you might have missed is that the project description does not walk you through the responsibilities that you led through the different stages of the project's lifecycle. Remember, in your PMP application, you need to demonstrate experience in each stage of the project's lifecycle of initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and closing. But remember, don't be too generic. Make sure to also include information specific to your project. In this example, you could write, during the execution phase, I managed communication with all stakeholders and I ensured that customer feedback was obtained and validated for developing the electronic system. You would of course repeat this for the other phases for initiation, planning, monitoring and controlling, and closing. The second biggest mistake is that you select projects which don't align with what PMI is looking for. Remember, PMI is looking for experiences which qualify as leading projects through the different stages of a project's lifecycle, not operational or day-to-day activities. If all you did on the project was write a document, a protocol, or a report, that does not qualify as experience in managing or leading projects. If, on the other hand, you led the requirements gathering session with a team, you created and you managed the project schedule with different stakeholders, you estimated your project's budget, and you also managed your project's work, then this would qualify as experience as leading and managing the project. Do not choose projects in which you only acted as an individual contributor. Be very selective with which project you choose to list on your application. Remember, you want to demonstrate experience leading projects through all stages of the project's lifecycle, in which you acted as a project lead or project manager. But keep in mind, your actual job title does not have to be an actual project manager. As long as you can demonstrate in your project description that you led and you managed the project and you didn't just do one specific task or deliverable, then that should be okay. The third biggest mistake that you can make on your PMP application is that you use personal and volunteer experiences as projects. Remember, PMI is looking for professional work experience and not volunteering. So managing and coordinating activities for a personal vacation, leading a volunteer campaign at your local church or fundraiser, or developing your own personal website would not count. If you find that you just don't meet the required minimum 3 years experience to qualify for your PMP certification, start actively looking for projects that you can lead within your current role and organization. Ask your manager if you can start leading projects and find ways to expand your roles and responsibilities in your current position. For me, when I submitted my own PMP application, I used experience when I led projects as an engineer, so it's completely acceptable to not have the title as an actual project manager when you do finally submit your PMP application. And don't forget, if I passed my own PMP application and was not audited by PMI, then I know that you can do it as well. If you need any additional help getting started with writing your PMP application, go ahead and download my free PMP application step-by-step cheat sheet over at alvinthepm.com/cheat sheet. So, did you find today's video helpful? Which tip was the most helpful to you for writing your PMP application? I hope you found the video helpful, and if you did, hit that like button for me and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this to help you pass your PMP exam. Now that you've mastered the biggest mistakes that you can make when writing your PMP application, it's time for you to learn more about how to get started with your PMP application and how to pass your PMP exam. If you'd like to see those videos, just click or tap the screen over here. Thank you so much for watching. This is Alvin, helping you become certified in project management, and I'll see you in the next video.